Hey everybody, it's Angie from Trips with Angie, and I'm a travel agent who loves sharing my travels all over the world, but especially cruises, all-inclusive resorts, and escorted tours. So why am I making a video about Las Vegas? Well, the truth is, this video is really just for my family and friends who looked at us crazily when we told them we were going for 6 nights to Vegas. Most people think of Vegas as a 2 to 3 night town, so the idea we would spend an entire week there was a bit befuddling. So I wanted to make a video about everything we did. If you're a subscriber and you're just here for that cruise and all-inclusive content, you can skip this video, but definitely keep those notifications turned on because I am on my way to Cabo to film 5 all-inclusive resort tours, and then we're setting out on a 7-night cruise on the Discovery Princess. So you're gonna get that cruise tour and review as well. All right, let's dig into Vegas. So we flew Southwest from Indianapolis to Las Vegas. We paid $100 at check-in to upgrade to an A1 through 15 boarding pass, and we were able to get the exit row. Yay! And the empty middle seat in the exit row, which is even more exciting. Now, the one thing I did wrong, I forgot that Southwest does not have plugs at the seats. And this is critically important because all of your entertainment is on your device. So there's no screens on the back of the seats. You have to watch everything on your cell phone, or if you brought a laptop or an iPad. So needless to say, I ran out of battery a couple hours into the flight. Luckily I had my Kindle, so I was able to read the rest of the way. So pro tip, if you're going on a long trip on Southwest, be sure to bring your battery pack. But we made it into the airport no problem. We rented a car from Budget. Also, be sure to sign up for any membership with a rental car company in Las Vegas. You will take a shuttle to the off-site rental car center, and then if you have a membership like Fast Break or Preferred in Avis, you can go straight to the garage and grab your car. So it took us a little bit longer because we needed to add my husband as the driver, but all in all, it took us about 40 minutes an hour from getting off the plane to driving out of the rental car center. So I think it worked really, really well. We headed to Lotus of Siam. This is a Thai restaurant that sort of came to fame with Anthony Bourdain when he visited there. It was really one of the pioneering establishments that was serving authentic Asian food. And we were able to get a table pretty easily, and the food was good. I would say, having just been in Thailand, hopefully you've watched those videos, it was very authentic, it was flavorful, it came out hot. So I wasn't overwhelmed and thought it was the best Thai meal of my life, but I was really happy with it. The price point is pretty high though. This is not kind of some dive bar Thai restaurant. Entrees were about $25 per person. Then we headed to check into our hotel, the Park MGM. So I picked the Park MGM primarily because it's an entirely non-smoking property. One of the things that has kept me away from Vegas for 15 years is all the cigarette smoke. And now the Park MGM is a complete non-smoking property. That's why we booked it, but I ended up absolutely loving it. We booked the Nighthawk suite. So here you can see kind of going through the suite. It's really good size. It has a walk-in closet. It didn't have quite enough storage for a full week. It was kind of weird. You had to keep your clothes next to the mini bar, but otherwise it was super comfortable. It was about $200 a night, including the resort fee and the parking. So that was a great deal, I thought. This was a great time of year to come. We came the week of President's Day in February of 2025. So that was a great week to come. We were able to get dining reservations really easily. I also love how the Park MGM is very compact. So the casino isn't too big. It's really easy to get around. It connects to a tram that goes up to Bellagio, so it's easy to access a number of different resorts from here. We will definitely be staying here again. It was a win. So Monday night we went out to dinner with my aunt and uncle in Summerlin. So this is a great area if you have a car and you just want to go to a different restaurant, have a little bit different type of food, be able to go to normal restaurants. So we went to North Italia. It's an Italian restaurant. It is a chain. It has multiple locations, but the meal was fantastic. I had the squid ink pasta. It was really, really good. So Tuesday we got up and headed to Red Rock Canyon. So one thing I really wanted to do on this trip was get out into all the nature that surrounds Las Vegas. So we hit the road and went to Red Rock Canyon. We drove through the scenic loop. We didn't have the right shoes to do a lot of the hikes. I definitely would go back and be better prepared with shoes and water to be able to do the hikes that go into some of the canyons. We did go to the 10:30 Ranger Talk at the Visitor Center, which was a nice little walk around the Visitor Center talking about some of the vegetation and the wildlife in the area. So highly recommend that, but overall a great visit. In the evening, we had made reservations for a very special dining experience, by Jose Andres. Chef Jose Andres is a huge idol of mine. I just think he's an incredible chef, but he also started World Central Kitchen, which is an organization we support that supports local restaurants and people in times of emergency. So what this nonprofit does is it taps into all of the talent in a particular community when a natural disaster happens and pays those chefs whose restaurants are closed due to the disaster to prepare food for everybody in the community. So it's a great organization. It is located in Jaleo, Jaleo, in the Cosmopolitan Hotel, which, woo, that hotel is incredible. It has such incredible restaurants. It has 3 speakeasies. It's really cool. So we went, this is a private room. There was 8 of us, multi-course tasting menu where they make the food right in front of you. It's absolutely insane. They made this little sandwich where they made bread out of like compressed apples, and it was faux gras, and I mean, it was just wild. So it was an incredible meal, all different types of foods and textures, and they played it right in front of you. There was dry ice, so it was a tremendous experience. And then afterwards, we headed to one of the speakeasies called Ghost Donkey. This is a tequila and mezcal bar, and it's located behind a secret door in the food court at the Cosmopolitan, and the drinks were fantastic. So that was a great experience too. So highly recommend heading to the Cosmopolitan to check out some of the dining and drink options. The next day, we got back in the car and headed to Valley of Fire State Park. We grabbed subs at Chiba Hut on the way, which is a local sub chain that was very good. And we headed into Valley of Fire. Now, this place is absolutely incredible. It lived up to the pictures. I loved it. We went to see some of the hieroglyphics at one of the really large rocks. We went to see Arch Rock. Okay. So they tell you there's these like incredible formations, but they don't tell you like exactly where it is. So we got out of the car, we're walking around, we're trying to find this arch rock. We're like, well, maybe it collapsed. But no, we turned to drive out and it was right there. We could see it from the car. We were just not looking from the right angle. So make sure you have the right angles when you're looking around for these special rocks. We headed further into the park. They were shooting something with motorcycles, which was kind of interesting. They kept shutting down the road and letting motorcycles drive through, but I didn't see a drone, so I'm not sure exactly what they were filming, but that was kind of fun. Headed down Fire Canyon Road for this incredible vista of the canyon, and then we headed the furthest north you could go in Valley of Fire to the Firewave Trail, and then also the White Domes Loop. Now these trails are strenuous. I would call them strenuous because it's sand. So it's sand or very loose gravel, so it's really important to have good shoes. The White Domes Loop was too hard for me. The Firewave Loop I probably could have done, but the first part is a pretty steep rocky decline, so I just stayed up at the top while Glenn made his way down to the Firewave. In the evening, it was our reality show evening. So we went to the Vanderpump Cocktail Garden, which is located in Caesar's Palace. It's beautiful. I was really glad we went. The drinks were very good and the decoration is gorgeous. It's exactly what you would expect from a Vanderpump restaurant if you've ever seen The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, or what's the one with Sandoval? Vanderpump Rules. So that was really fun to go and see that. And then the second part of our reality show adventure was having dinner at Hell's Kitchen, the Hell's Kitchen restaurant by Gordon Ramsay. They tried to recreate what the set looks like. They have the beef Wellington, the lobster risotto, and the scallops on the menu. So we ordered the scallops, of course, and they were very, very good, very well cooked. The lobster risotto, which came out with a lot more lobster than I was expecting. Glenn also tried the octopus, which was very good. So it was really fun to be able to be there and kind of have our own Hell's Kitchen experience. But no one was yelling. Sadly, no one threw a plate into the garbage yelling. And next day we headed south to kind of have an Old West experience. So we went all the way down to the Pioneer Saloon in Good Springs, Nevada. So this is a filming set for a lot of films, including Miss Congeniality 2, which I'm sure you're all familiar with. It's just an old-fashioned saloon. It was a little weird. So we went in, it was us and like there was 2 other people, and the guy welcomed us in. We sat down. No one talked to us, no menus, no nothing. So we're like, oh, well, maybe you're supposed to sit in the dining room because we were in the bar, because it was pretty early. It was like 10:30 in the morning. So we went into the dining room, again, sat there for a while, just waiting. And then we went back out, got menus. It just took a little bit to get started, but I had a tremendous breakfast sandwich with house-made sausage. It was really, really good food. And it was kind of a fun experience to be in the saloon. On the way back to Las Vegas, we stopped at 7 Magic Mountains, which is an art installation. And it's absolutely incredible. It's a set of limestone boulders that painted neon colors. It's supposed to, be a commentary on the Strip and how it's sort of taken over the natural beauty of Las Vegas. I think they're moving it, so if you want to go see it, make sure you head there soon. And then one more stop on our way back to town was the pinball machine. I highly recommend going there if you have any slight interest in video games. They have hundreds of pinball machines from all time periods. They have the initial claw machine. All the games are between 25 cents to $1. We spent, I think, $10 and just had a great time going around, playing all the games. It's inside, it's air conditioned. It was a really fun afternoon. That evening, we headed into the Chinatown area to go to Double Zero Pizza Pub. This kind of got on my radar because I was researching what chefs had been nominated for a James Beard Award. So this is kind of a fun way. If you're looking for a restaurant and you've asked all your friends for recommendations, you can also go to the James Beard Foundation and see what chefs have been nominated. It's fun to see who the up and coming chefs are in the chef world. So Double Zero had been nominated, and in fact won, since I looked it all up, and they are getting ready to change all their ovens. So we really wanted to go when it was the original oven that won the reward. They have incredible pizza. We got the mushroom pizza. It was really good. The bartender was so friendly and nice, and we just had a great experience there. After that, we headed to the Neon Museum. So this is where the old neon signs go to spend their last days. We went at sunset, which I highly recommend because you're transitioning from daytime into them turning the lights on. So you can still see some of the signs that are kind of like buried behind, but then you get to see everything all lit up. So that was super, super fun. If we went, I would go back there and actually get a tour. So while we were there, there was a tour going around giving more information about all the signs. So that would be really fun to go back and do the tour. And then after that, we went to Meow Wolf Omega Mart, which is in area 15, this like fun bar and restaurant area. And Omega Mart, I'm not gonna tell you too much about it because the whole thing is about discovery, but it's like a large scale modern art installation meets a scavenger hunt meets a murder mystery. So we spent 3 hours there. I think you can easily spend all day there because they have different quests you can do, different mysteries you can solve. It was incredible. I would definitely go back when we come back to Vegas. Then it was time to do a little bit of housekeeping. So Glenn took our laundry to a local laundromat to get it done. I worked, but we wanted to check out a few more restaurants. So we went to a dumpling restaurant in Chinatown, and now we knew it was legit because it had a mascot. If you watched any of my Japan videos, you know how intrigued we were with the mascots in Japan. So it was so fun to walk in and see this mascot. I did my best at trying to impersonate it. I failed miserably, but the dumplings were really great. We got delicious soup dumplings, green beans, fried rice, this incredible fried chicken, and pork buns. So overall, it was a great meal. Definitely head into Chinatown. Just one, it's a lot less expensive than the Strip, and you have some really good options. Like in the one shopping plaza where this restaurant is located, you could get any type of Asian food, Thai, Vietnamese, Chinese, Japanese. So we'll definitely be exploring more of Chinatown on a future visit. And then the evening was my favorite evening we had on our whole trip. So Mama Fuko is an Asian restaurant that we actually ordered food from through Goldbelly during the lockdown. And it was incredible food, even like having been frozen and reheated in our kitchen. And so when we saw there was one in the Cosmopolitan, we made reservations. We asked to sit at the chef's counter, which you can make when you do your reservation. And then when they got there, they told us they have an amasaki, which is a tasting menu where you just give the chef a budget between $80 and $160, and then they just start bringing you food. And it was so fun. I think my favorite moment was we were sitting there watching the chefs make these two dishes, and both of us said, oh my gosh, that looks really good and that looks really good, and oh, I wonder what dish that is. And then they appeared and they were the dishes for us. It was this incredible fried lobster with fried vegetables, and then this amazing pork in a very flavorful sauce with these little peppers that were not too spicy. We're not spicy at all. So that was an incredible meal. It was so much fun. Then we headed to the Girls Book Residency at Caesar's Palace, and that show was phenomenal. Phenomenal. I think I was singing a little bit too loud because as we were leaving, the guy in front of me was like, hey, you really sang all those songs. But oh my, I mean, it was just like overwhelming. It was so cool to see him. It was an incredible show. The band has been with him for over 20 years. They were jamming. The crowd was incredible. Everybody was super into it. The Coliseum is an incredible venue to see a show. I love the whole thing. And he banned phones, which made the experience absolutely incredible. The last few concerts I've been to, I've watched through the phone of the person in front of me. So it just made the whole night super special. My favorite night of the whole trip. And then our last full day, we made it our Italian day. So we went to Esther's Kitchen, which is in the Arts and Design District, for an Italian breakfast or brunch. The food was pretty good. The service was slow. It was one of those, like, I felt like kind of like hipster in places where it still needs a little bit work on customer service. Some of the food wasn't great, like the potatoes Glenn got were under seasoned, but it was fun to go to that area. I hadn't been to that area of Vegas before, and there were a lot of other restaurants and breweries in that area. So I think when we come back, we'll spend a little bit more time over there. Sorry, battery died. Then we headed to the Venetian for dinner and drinks. The Venetian is really close to the Sphere. So we're going to the Eagles concert at the Sphere, so we figured out if we head to the Venetian, that might be a great place to start. Pro tip, have the Uber drop you off at the Palazzo. If you're going to any of the restaurants in the shops, that makes it a lot easier to get there. And then we went to the Venetian for our evening activities. So pro tip, have the Uber drop you off at the Palazzo instead of the Venetian if you're trying to go to the shops and the restaurants in the shops. We went to Prohibition 1923, which is this bar that usually has live music. It has great bourbon cocktails. We sat at the bar. It was really a neat place, and I would definitely go back there. It is a little bit hard to find. Listen, it's hard to find anything in these casinos in Vegas. We were wandering around trying to find things. The signs are a little bit confusing. We know they do it on purpose because they want you to get distracted by a slot machine and pour some money in, but woo, leave extra time when you're trying to find someplace. But we eventually found Prohibition 1923. There's one specific set of elevators that go there, and we finally figured it out. But that was a great pre-dinner cocktail. And then we had reservations at Brera Osteria. There were 4 Italian restaurants all in the little square in the Venetian shops, but I think we picked the best one. We had a great meal. I had the bolognese with fettuccine. We had squash blossoms we actually haven't had since we went to Italy, and Glenn had the veal parmesan, which came on the bone and was terrific. And the service was great. It was really a nice meal. Then we lucked out. So we were totally unsure how to get to the Sphere. There weren't any signs that really told you where to go, and we were trying to figure things out, and we stumbled upon this map, and it just said to head down the escalator. So we headed down the escalator, and then there were hundreds of people walking through the convention center to get to the Sphere. So it was so lucky. So we just joined the group, we headed in, we crossed the bridge from the Venetian and went right into the Sphere. Now the Sphere is this incredible concert concert venue. The sound is unbelievable, and it has this big background that's supposed to feel very immersive, and it really is incredible. So before they show the show, they had this huge landscape up that would change, the sunset. There was a blimp that came out with a countdown to the show. It was really, really fun. And then the Eagles came out, and the Eagles were incredible. Like, the musicians are at the top of their game. The guitar solos were amazing, but it didn't feel like a concert. It was kind of a bummer. There wasn't a ton of energy because they played a song and then there'd be like a 2-minute reset where the stage would go dark, the screen would go dark, they'd reset everything, and then they'd play the next song. And they didn't really talk during those breaks. So it kind of felt stilted. I don't know that the Sphere is the best venue for the Eagles. I mean, I think it's cool they tried it, but I think they like a more old-fashioned stadium where they can just kind of do their show and riff and talk. So the show itself was a little bit disappointing, but the venue's incredible. And I think seeing a newer artist who has had more experience with backgrounds and, you know, that type of production would be better. So I've heard the U2 show is really, really good, that they're really comfortable with the projections and how it all works. So I would do that in the future, but I'm really glad I saw the Sphere, and I'm really glad I heard the Eagles. So I consider it a win, but probably not the best venue. So see, that was everything we did. That was a lot of things, and there's still more to do. We didn't even go to the Mob Museum. We didn't go to Pizza Rock. We didn't go to play at Luxor. We didn't go to a Cirque show. Our list is pretty long for when we come back. This was a great break from winter. The weather was terrific. So it was like 60s to 70s during the day, bright sunshine, and then it'd get down to like 50s at night. So very comfortable. So that was the Vegas trip. I hope you liked it. Please subscribe if you like hearing me talk about trips. But like I said, the next upcoming videos are gonna be all about all-inclusives and cruises. Okay,